Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel again. I'm out working on one of my personal houses and thought I'd share with you a little bit of something that I do for my investing and everything with my construction business. Going into something that's related to the business that you're working in is really good to do. Since I'm able to do all of my own maintenance, all my own repairs, a lot of appliance work, anything that goes wrong with a house pretty much, I can pretty well tackle it. This means that unlike, your average person that would go out and buy a rental property or something, they have to pay professionals in every trade, such as us, to come out and do the work. And we all already know what that kind of costs. And I realize that my labor is not free either, but it does allow me to save quite a bit and keep my investments just working for me. I'm not a big amount of rental property owner. I believe this is my sixth house. And we're just now actually turning this one into a rental. And this one's going to be a little more unique because this is going to be like a VRBO, a vacation rental by owner. If any of you guys have seen that app and things like that, where you can go online, go on an app or whatever, you can rent a house by the night, the weekend, whatever. We're going to see how that goes. I do have someone coming in to take this one on a 6-month lease to start with, and at the end of that, we'll be switching to the VRBO thing. The neat part is the people that are coming in for 6 months need this house furnished. So it's kind of forcing me to go ahead and get the furnishings part done. Most of my other houses are not furnished. I do have a couple others that are, but for the most part, I don't work with furnished houses, so it's kind of new for me. But to give you an idea, this is also the only property that we have a mortgage on because we used to actually live here. And every rental property that I have, though, I've bought cash. And that also keeps a lot of stress off of you rather than, having a mortgage payment that's close to what the rent payment is and you don't have much margin left to keep a place repaired. But I feel like at this point, I can probably do it with this one, especially with the goal of being a VRBO in 6 months. I'll be able to come and enjoy this place also in between bookings. And instead it's going to be furnished out completely. It's on a lake here. I have a dock and everything. But we're kind of just working on furnishing. We got a couch in here, end tables and things. New beds just got brought in tonight. I just did that and kind of getting it set up. Table, chairs, everything you need to live here. Going to put us a TV back up over here in the corner on a swing out mount. But as investments, rental properties are amazing. Especially if you can find distressed properties. Now, this is not one of those to illustrate that point. I may shoot a video in another one I have that I bought for an absolute song. I don't know how many numbers I actually want to mention here. Since everything varies across the country, it's the same kind of thing like talking about what you charge per day or per hour. Comparing rent prices is a little irrelevant in a way. But if you're curious, this one furnished, $700 a month. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath on the lake. I don't think that's bad. The same house, 2-bedroom, 1-bath in town, away from the lake, would be $550 unfurnished, $650 furnished. So I'm only charging an extra $50. I'm probably too low on this one. I probably need to be more like $795. The way we've come up with what we charge for rents is whatever the home is worth. Like, say this house is valued at $80,000, which I believe right now is quite a bit more than that. But if this house is valued at $80,000, and that's fair market value, then you need to be charging at least $800 a month in rent. If you are, then you can actually make money at this. 1% per month is 12% a year. But when you're the guy that can do all the work, you can do these for a deal. I've bought some houses for just a few $1,000s. Have to invest, maybe $10,000 to $20,000 in material, and then of course my labor. But getting to where you have some passive income of some kind, whether you invest in the stock market and that's what you're good at, or you want to do houses, since you're obviously good at that, you're here. This is what really causes you to eventually be able to have some semblance of a retirement. because otherwise, I don't know what you're going to do. This is my plan anyway. I try to buy a house every year or two, fix it up, rent it out, move on and buy another one. By doing that, hopefully eventually I'll be able to back off and mainly work on my own houses. That's also the really nice thing. You can be your own boss for real. You don't have a customer that you're working for. You can just go out and change out your own toilet or put your own tile down or whatever, and nobody's critiquing that grout joint. Renters usually a little more open-minded than most. But when you do these kind of things, you can end up with houses that you have anywhere from 25% to maybe 50% of total market value when you're done, because of all your labor and everything and expertise that you've put into it, not having to hire people. So you end up with an investment that's paying you, say, 1% a month of its real value, but you only have half that in it. So you're actually making, say, 24% a year on your actual money invested. So this is a really nice way to go. Most of ours do pay anywhere between 12 and 24% a year. Some do dramatically better than that, though. It just depends on what kind of a deal you got, you were at the right auction, various things like that. I did think about doing another channel for these rental properties, but it's kind of all part of what I do. So if nobody gets too mad at me, we may talk about this once in a while and jobs I do on them and how we do them cost effectively to move forward. We do try to fix all of ours up to current code and properly. I don't know how to describe it. There's a bad word for the type of people that don't do that. But we try to have nice rental properties that you don't have that issue with a lot, with tenants, that are furious over the condition of the house or issues with it. We're also really quick to do our repairs. If a tenant calls, it gets taken care of. There's none of this, oh, your air conditioner's not working, we're going to put a window unit in and we'll see you in the wintertime to maybe talk about what we need to do next year. It's not like that. We get them fixed. We call the appropriate professional if we're not able to fix it, and things are taken care of. But the nice part of this, when you are self-employed, is if you even get, your first one, say $500 to $700 a month in rent coming in, that you didn't have to actually go out and sweat for and bid a job and drive and all this. You stayed home and you saw that money hit your bank account. Sorry about that. I lost it there for a second. Forgot to put my phone on airplane mode and somebody called me. Anyway, it's an amazing feeling to have money hit your bank account that you didn't have to sweat for. It almost seems, I don't know how to describe it. It's amazing. And once you have one set of rental income or royalties or whatever your investment of choice is coming in, hitting that bank account, you feel like you're really on a roll towards something so much bigger than just going to work and making that check. So as you can, the first one is the most difficult to get. And I'd really say almost the first three. As that second one is a real drag because you're so excited that you got the first one. It may have taken you several years to get the money together, to do the repairs, to do the work, to get the house purchased, everything, and now you're finally seeing that return. Now it's this, the second house, you've got one house that can help you pay for the second house. These things are amazing, and once you get a few of these, it really starts to just snowball on you because you get two paying for number three and three helping pay for number four. It's not the situation that people get into with debt, where they're maybe clearing $100 a month on a house or something after they pay mortgages and all this stuff. That's really not going to help you very quickly. You'd have to buy, 5 or 6 houses to have the same effect that buying one with cash will do for you. But once you get up there to the point where you're hitting that 5, 6, 7, 8th house, they almost pay you enough rent to possibly buy another fixer-upper every single year. And this comes to where it really fits into the construction side. You know how we like to bid what we're worth? Now, sometimes that can mean that you end up having a little time off because you're not going to work for money that you can't afford to work for. So, if you have your own fixer-upper houses, well, what do you know? You have your own job. You can go do your own job in your off days. Go get it done. Your house needs siding. You needed some flooring done in that house to get it ready. Any number of things. You go get these things done, and you're working toward another rental payment coming in. And you could even flip them if you wanted to. Me personally, it's not really my thing. I want the long-term gains. But if you wanted to flip a house, you could just have one, and all you have to do is maintain it. If you don't have any time free from work, it's not a big deal. The house will be there. Especially if you paid cash and you don't have that payment staring at you every month, you can just relaxing work on your property right up until you get it done. And then you have that rent coming in and hitting, and have it go into its own special account. That way that account covers every expense related to that property, and as it builds up, it helps pay for the next house and the next repairs and so on. So this is great fill-in work. It's what I've done for the last 7-8 years. If I have a time where I have a week off, awesome. I can finally get on that house I haven't seen in 2 months, And honestly, I make more per hour working on my own houses because my labor, I'm not getting paid cash now, but I'm working towards such a much bigger return once that actually hits. 24% a year, 50% a year, whatever you're able to get from one of these houses. I have some houses I've fixed that pay for themselves twice in 1 year. That's a 200% return on a property. But anyway, just a little inspiration here tonight as I'm having another house ready here, and it'll be rented on Sunday. This will give me my 6th rental taken. And this is the only one I owe any money on. So hopefully we can snowball the other ones to pay for this one. But we also have another one that we may do a little talk at. One that I bought for a steal. And it needs a lot more work, obviously, than something like this that's pretty much turnkey. But the rate of return is much higher. I can actually show you the house that pays around 200% a year. And you can see what you're getting into with that. They're just great projects, houses that need 3-4 months worth of work. Not a big deal. You're able to do it. Why not? Make some money. Anyway, it's great to see y'all again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Shoot a comment down below and let me know how you invest. What do you invest in as a construction person? Do you prefer your stocks and bonds and mutual funds and things like that where you don't have to be involved with it as much? Or, do you do your own trading online possibly? Some people really like to do that. I've done a little of it in the past too. It gets a little addictive and it's a little much like gambling for me, but I've always been a real estate guy, and this is pretty well where I'm probably going to stick. So if you like this video, let me know. Let me know anything you're curious about with this. I know a lot of you guys that have been around since the very beginning are already aware that this is a big part of my life, is rental properties and lease contracts and things like that. I do it every single day. As a family, we have 50-60 houses, and this is just what we do. It's great having y'all here. I really appreciate every comment. Thank you guys, and I need to jump over there and find out who won a tape measure. And we'll see y'all later. Bye.